Hi, this is Chris Condon with John Green Commercial. Hope you're doing well today. Wanted to take a couple of minutes to answer a question that I get on a regular basis is, am I better off leasing or owning a property here in Will County? I said, honestly, it kind of depends on your situation, like so much of this stuff. There's advantages and disadvantages to each. When it comes to leasing, there's definitely advantages. You've got flexibility to move around as you need, as your business and space demands increase or decrease. You've got the flexibility to move around every 3 to 5 years if need be. You're going to have minimal capital tied up. You may have to invest a little bit in the moving expense depending on your business and the amount of equipment you have. That may be justified. You have little to no management responsibilities. You're able to utilize basically a high quality facility at minimal cost investment. There are disadvantages to that though. When you write that rent check each month, it's gone. There is no equity build in the property. There is no long-term wealth creation with that property. You also have little to no say-so in how the property is maintained and or the image that it presents. You're kind of at the mercy of the landlord. You can certainly influence that, but you're certainly not in control of it. The leases renew every 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 years or so. So you always got to be kind of thinking about that and worried about that. If your lease was to expire or was coming up on renewal and you didn't have any options to extend, the landlord does have the option or the right to ask you to leave, which could be a major disruption in your business depending on the season and what's going on with your business. On the ownership side, once again, there's advantages and disadvantages to that as well. The advantages are definitely you get to pay down a mortgage over time, building an increased equity in that property. You've got much greater control over the maintenance of the property, what happens to the property, signage on the property, those types of things. Generally, the operating costs are lower owning a property. You don't have rent hikes or renewals to worry about. There are definite tax advantages. And you probably want to speak with your accountant on that. That's kind of a big consideration as well. What are the tax consequences leasing versus owning? I know a number of business owners that have relatively capital intense type businesses. For them, it doesn't make sense to own. They get a greater return on their capital in buying equipment and machines and those sorts of things for their business as opposed to having it tied up in real estate. The disadvantages of ownership is capital is definitely tied up for a period of time. There isn't the flexibility at times that you need to kind of bounce around or size up or size down on your facilities because of your own ownership. Inventory-wise, options in the marketplace at any given time are probably a quarter to maybe 20% of what they are on the lease side of things. I think right now in the marketplace there's probably about 60 or so properties available for sale. There's over 200 or so available for lease, just for example. With ownership you do have to worry about kind of mortgage renewals or note renewals for your financing if you do choose to finance. One of the things you also have to be aware of in an ownership position is what exactly is the exit strategy? If you sell your business in 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or you decide to retire in those same time frames, what exactly is kind of the exit strategy on the property? Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell the business with the real estate? You don't necessarily have to worry about it, but you certainly want to be mindful about what exactly the exit strategy is. But once again, there's advantages and disadvantages to each. It's like everything in life, there's trade-offs. So what are the trade-offs that you're willing to make? What are the trade-offs you're willing to accept? What are the trade-offs that make the most sense to you? I'm certainly happy to sit down with you and kind of talk through what those trade-offs are. Probably want to talk to your accountant about what are the financial trade-offs or the tax advantages of each. If there's any way that I can help you, or if you want to kind of talk about ideas regarding this, happy to help however I can. Once again, my name is Chris Condon. I'm a broker with John Green Commercial. My contact information is here. I'd love to hear from you, figure out how I can help you. Thanks and have a great day.